Slow week in the NFL, so I figured, hey, let's mix it up a little bit. Top 10 uniforms all time. Let's go.
Perfect.
So this is my personal opinion. You can take it or leave it. However, we're just mixing things up. It's the middle of the off season. Camps are going on, so let's just get into it. Number 10 all time. I got the Giants 90s home uniforms. They won a Super Bowl in these uniforms. When I think of these uniforms, I think of Lawrence Taylor and the missed Scott Norwood kick in the Super Bowl, lifting Bill Parcells up on the player's shoulders. This uniform itself is incredibly clean. I really loved the red striping along the outside sleeves of the uniform, the red complements around the numbers as well, and the darker blue Giants helmet, which actually says Giants on the side of the helmet. If I'm not mistaken, there's a red stripe down the center still as well. I absolutely love these uniforms with the offsetting white white pants as well, going down the sides with their own striping. These are just incredibly clean uniforms for the time. These are Hall of Fame level uniforms where, again, you think of guys like Lawrence Taylor, you think of Super Bowl champions over the Buffalo Bills, one of the most iconic moments in NFL history was seen across the NFL stage, across the world, in these uniforms. One of the most infamous moments in NFL history, the Giants winning the Super Bowl in 1991 in these uniforms. And personally speaking, I just think they're really clean. I would not be surprised to see the NFL kind of bring these back at some point. I really kind of like the Giants color rush as well, the white on white. Those are really clean, and they kind of implement that Giants logo on the side. I like those a lot. However, this Giants uniform itself beats it out and puts itself right at number 10. Number 9 all time, the Saints color rush. I love the Saints color rush. The white on white with the gold with a black complement, the striping on the sides of the sleeve, still just the regular Saints helmet with the gold and black on the top, but it really works in my opinion. I love these uniforms. When I think of these uniforms, I think of Michael Thomas having that insane season where he put up the most receptions in NFL history. When I think of these uniforms, I think of them playing against teams on grass, away uniforms, where even at the end of the game where they've got the green patching all over themselves from the game, the contact from hitting the field. It still looks incredibly clean. I love it. It's a white on white with gold and black accents. For some reason, in my brain at least, I just think this really works. It's a great design. It looks clean. I think the Saints play really well, and I personally would love to see the Saints just play in these as their away uniforms full time. I love the Saints color rush. Number 8 all time, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers creamsicle jerseys, the creamsicle uniforms with the winking Buccaneer on the side of the helmet. It works really well. The offsetting oranges, the very light tone versus the darker, crisp, like citrusy orange color. It just works really well. I think the Buccaneers are trying to bring these uniforms back in the 2023 NFL season. I wouldn't be surprised if we see those jersey sales tick up incredibly high. You see a lot of different guys online who can alternate and make these uniforms come to life. I'd love to see what the Buccaneers do in 2023 bringing these back. I think they're an incredibly historic uniform. When you see these, you know automatically these are the Tampa Bay Buccaneers of old. Unfortunately, the Bucs didn't win a lot in these uniforms, and maybe that has a lot to do with why they're so much further down in this top 10. But at number 8, still very deservedly so, the Buccaneers and the creamsicle jerseys have a place in NFL history and a place on this list. Number 7, the Eagles Kelly green uniforms. Simple, clean, Philly. When I see these uniforms, I think Eagles. I think 100% the Philadelphia Eagles of old. I think of Randall Cunningham. I think of Harold Carmichael. I even think about that time when they brought them back in the mid-2000s, or the 2010s, excuse me, with Michael Vick as well playing in them. I really love the older version of that uniform though, with the eagle, the full eagle on the side of the uniform, the black outline of the lettering, and that nice white bold along the spread wings on the helmet as well. these are all-time classics. They take you back to a different era of football when you see them. And again, the classic with Harold Carmichael and Randall Cunningham and the number of great Philadelphia Eagles that wore it over the years. This just says the Philadelphia Eagles of old to me. I love these uniforms. I'd love to see them make a return once again. I think Philadelphia Eagles fans would also like to see these make a return. Number 7 on the list feels very safe. Number 6, the Dolphins throwback home uniforms that they still use to this day. I think these should be the Dolphins full-time uniforms. These work so much better than the teal and bright orange that we've seen over the last few years that the Dolphins have tried to make work. The Dolphins, I'm gonna argue off the top of my head here, maybe more of a guess. Somebody pull up the numbers if they really want to, but I'm pretty confident to say that the Dolphins play better wearing the throwbacks versus what they wear regularly on the field. I think these throwbacks are perfect. The green shading is just right, the classic helmet striping as well, the classic logo with the black complements and accessories, black cleats, black sleeves, whatever. It all just works perfectly. The number font side, like the orange striping on the outside of the numbers, the orange stripes on the side of the sleeves, it all just works really, really well for the Miami Dolphins. It just works perfectly. I think they play better in them. I think the Eagles should certainly just make these and commit to these being the full-time jerseys. Even the away version of these uniforms are really clean. I love these uniforms. I don't like the Miami Dolphins' current uniforms. I think these show a lot more confidence for the players. I think they look a little bit more mean. I think they take you back to even a little bit of the Marino era where the Dolphins were incredibly successful then. I really, really like these uniforms. They feel perfect at the number 6 spot on my list. I think they're maybe even a little underrated in my opinion. Now the top 5, and starting number 5, the Oilers Columbia blue home uniforms. These just speak to a different time in NFL history where guys like Earl Campbell were just destroying defenders, bulldozing your entire front 7, and Warren Moon just taking the top off of defenses, killing your secondary. These classic Houston Oiler blues that have now traveled with the Tennessee Titans over to Nashville are some amazing and perfect uniforms that when you watch NFL films and you look back on the history of the NFL, you just see that era of football and you miss it. You see it and you miss that time where there was a little bit more bulldozing, a little bit more physicality maybe even. And the Oilers really epitomize that. I think these uniforms were amazing. I think they're beautiful. I'd love to see the Titans bring them back into the rotation. I think there's some rumor they're gonna try to bring them back in 2023 as the NFL has relaxed its rules a little bit on the helmet situation. I love the Oilers classic uniforms. I think they are perfect. The blues were just right with the reds, the white offset for all of it to complement it all really, really well. The Oilers are a perfect number 5. Now this one may be controversial, but it's my list, so my rules. I'm putting the Falcons classic black on black at number 4 on my all-time list. These are simple black on black with red complements and white pants. I think these are perfect. The Falcons have not shied away from these uniforms in a long time. They kept them in the rotation. They still use them to this day. The black helmet with the white Atlanta Falcon on the side just makes me think of Deion Sanders. Personally, I love that photo of Julio Jones as well when he was wearing with the red gloves. It just works perfectly. It's a very simple and perfect uniform combination that it just feels timeless. You think of the Falcons of old, you think of some of the great players, and again, I just love to think of Deion Sanders when I see these uniforms. The black jerseys with the red outline, it's perfect. Number 4 on the list. Number 3, the LA Rams blue and gold uniforms. I'm gonna say it, I like the Rams current uniforms, that may be a little controversial, but these were timeless. It wasn't broke, there was no reason to fix it. When you see these uniforms, you think of the greatest show on turf. You think of Eric Dickerson breaking the NFL record for the most rushing yards in a season. You think of a number of great all-time NFL greats, a lot of Hall of Famers. And they're just perfect. They're timeless. They're some of the best uniforms in NFL history. The solid blue jersey with the yellow ram horn, the blue helmet, yellow ram horn. They were just perfect. They were timeless. And there was still plenty of room to do stuff with them, create some different combinations with some of their alternates as well. I loved these jerseys. I personally wish the Rams would never have gone away from these jerseys. They speak to me. They say this is Los Angeles. Number 2, the New England Patriots red throwbacks. I believe the Patriots are bringing them back for this upcoming season. They look absolutely clean within the photo shoot that the Patriots just released. Matt Judon and David Andrews and etc. When you think of these jerseys, I like to think of John Hanna, the NFL Hall of Famer, one of the all-time NFL greats along the interior offensive line. This team that went against the Chicago Bears in Super Bowl 20 and lost to the greatest, one of the arguably the greatest defenses of all time. But these classic red jerseys are New England. When you see the Pat the Patriot on the side of the helmet with the perfect red, white, and blue striping down the middle, the red jerseys with the big white and blue stripes on the side, it just worked really well with a lighter blue tint around the numbers. I love the Patriots throwback jerseys. I've got a classic Patriots throwback style jersey as well. They're amazing. I wish they never would have had to go away from it within the uniform rotation. And heck, I'm pretty confident Tom Brady even tweeted out that he was excited to see the New England Patriots Pat the Patriot red jerseys coming back into the fold. I love these jerseys. They're an all-time NFL classic and number 2 on the list. And finally, number 1, I feel like at this point it had to be obvious. The natural number 1 choice, greatest uniform of all time, has to be the Chargers powder blue. You think of so many great players that wore these variations of jerseys, and the jersey itself is timeless. The uniform itself is timeless, even with some small alterations here and there. Over time, it still has remained one of the best uniforms in NFL history. Point blank period, any era. The powder blues now are amazing. The powder blues back in the day were amazing, with the numbers on the side of the helmet, with the 2-1 LaDainian Tomlinson with the dark Charger bolt over the top, the powder blues with even with the white stripe with the Charger. It was just, they were perfect. They were absolutely perfect. They still look extra clean today with the Charger bolt on the shoulders, the powder blue with the electric numbers. I love them. Personally speaking, I think the Chargers have the best uniforms in the NFL and in the NFL's history. The powder blues are a timeless uniform. They're the coolest looking uniform on the field. I wouldn't be shocked if the numbers show that the Chargers win more frequently with these uniforms on. I love the Chargers powder blues. And that's all I got for you this week. A little bit of a tone change this week, as there wasn't a whole lot going on in the NFL, let's just be honest. So I felt like this was a fun opportunity to make something a little lighter. Let's just do a top 10, throw it out there, easy, gonna get some views, get some clicks, but people love this kind of stuff. I loved all of these uniforms on the list, and if you disagree with me, or maybe you feel like I left somebody off this list, drop it down in the comments below. There are obviously a number of great uniforms throughout NFL history. This is my personal top 10. Heck, give me your top 5 down in the comments below. I'd love to see them. But thank you so much for watching the video. Of course, feel free to stick around, watch some more content, like, comment, share, subscribe, and of course, get the bell on to know every single time I'm dropping a video. My name is Tristan Blake Rines. I'm gonna catch you in the next one. Adios.